Hello everyone, and welcome back to Danganronpa. Previously, we just finished investigating Hifumi's and Taka's deaths. And now we're heading for our trial. So, let's get into it, shall we? Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they were gathered by the red door. And as soon as we were all there,
Monokuma appears!
the double Monokuma appears happened. He's multiplied. He's a robot. There can be two of them.
Wrong!
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I've multiplied. Yeah. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? The answer is neither of you. Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy, tough crowd.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Hey!
Okay, there's the real Monokuma. Then if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train. Elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please!
Hold on, I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, Hiro. You're gonna be paying for your sins.
What the heck?
Hina's showing her fangs now. I think she's so sick of all this murder by now. I told you already, I didn't do it. For serious. That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume? Or the note? Well, no, but... How unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey.
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first, then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka. The one who killed two of our friends. The killer is... someone right here! I like how the game doesn't point to Hiro specifically. Like, it still leaves that doubt. And I'm pretty sure that's for a reason. You know? Because, as usual, the obvious answer has never been the actual answer, so I'm pretty sure Hiro didn't do it. Damn, this elevator is getting really empty real fast. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator doors slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. Whoa! Is this a change of decor? Oh, but the design looks familiar. Come on, game, don't make it that obvious. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only cause of you. Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other? Wah? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute. Fair.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. You totally would do that, wouldn't you?
Yahoo!
I'd never hold out on you like that. You know, that is one form of despair. I'm sure you would do it. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so, the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment Oh no, it's the deadly string of words again. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly class trial. Alright, so I'm not gonna be reviewing as usual. I'm just gonna set this skill that I got from Celeste. Increases the focus gauge by 5. Oh, okay, that should be helpful. Anything else? Neural liberation? The focus gauge decreases more slowly during concentration. I probably won't concentrate that much, but you know, anything helps. Alright, let's do this. Trial, all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
I'm just gonna skip that. We already know what that is. It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place. And we found him in this suit.
Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Wow, that's rich coming from you.
Who are you calling a murderer?
Exactly.
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it.
When did we share this to you? All I know is Byakuya and I know it. How do you know it?
And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or... Before anything else, we have to make that clear. Are the stands green now? Are we going for a blue and green aesthetic? I think we are.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Alright. I need to figure this out.
The suit parts, they are all proof enough.
Alright, I found it.
That's wrong. Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
This is a pretty big leap of logic for the first argument phase.
What do you mean?
Because that actually depends on the player figuring out the text on the blueprint vis-a-vis the text under the door. You know?
Well, take a look at this.
See, this is another point where I don't know if the game is trying to respect your intelligence or not.
It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
That's not as easy as it looks. I've tried changing my handwriting, it doesn't work.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
And honestly, stupidity is your best defense right now, Yasuhiro.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
Probably not.
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Wow, of all people, Byakuya Togami to the rescue.
What?
Then who was in that Robo Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course, he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo Justice suit?
Do I have to pick now? No. As much as I want to.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Obviously, it was the Illuminati, Makoto.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
He's just the suspect. That doesn't mean he did it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice suit.
I wish I could scan around and see everyone's facial expressions. I think it's too advanced for this game. But like, if I want to see how Toko's looking, every statement, something
What?
like that.
Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
And what would this be, Mr. Byakuya?
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
He's still making a point, so I think we should just let him go on.
All things have a proper order.
For now, at least.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Oh, I can do that.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Why me? Am I your assistant teacher or something? But whatever, it's easy enough. Where is the dolly? Here we go.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. The things that were used to move Taka's body. So we got the tarp.
I got it!
Yep.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
Oh, Byakuya. What's the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain.
Oh, he
Taka's
didn't
body
know.
disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository.
That means he didn't actually know. He was surprised and he's like, oh, he knows something I don't again. And that's what he's mad about. I think I'm starting to get him now.
And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body.
But I don't get it, no. Why would you use a tarp? Can't you just pick it up? I mean, it's not like you're trying to hide blood or anything. The blood's already on the ground.
That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
But it doesn't matter if you're gonna leave the door? I don't know.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
Alright, fair. No time to bring it back, I suppose.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
But how would that work for Hifumi? Hifumi was on the first floor and wheels don't work for stairs, last I checked.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Oh, just spit it out, Celeste.
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
Is this gaslighting? I think this is gaslighting. Am I getting gaslit by a game?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
Why don't you respond? You're on my side, aren't you? Oh no, I am a pet, I forget. And you are just the master that commands me to respond for you.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
I am regretting completing your report card now.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
But that is a valid point, Makoto's freaking airhead. Wow, I never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. What happened to my C rank? Celeste, I thought I was a C rank. But maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room down to the repository. A new element. More tutorials? We're halfway through the game. What? I'm gonna read this, but I'm gonna skip this in the video. Alright, so this is really early. Is she that much against me?
You had it wrong. I cannot agree.
Basically,
You are a fool.
the new mechanic is reloading.
So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
Why
Do
are you so
your
mad
worst.
at me?
Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get
This
you
is actually
nowhere.
pretty hard, not gonna lie.
Do your worst. You miserable wretch.
I just play a lot of rhythm games,
You
okay?
have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
How did I do that?
I cannot agree.
I was in negative
This
time
should
and I was
prove it.
getting the beat. How did I do that? I didn't even press spacebar. Epic Leaf Gamer
If you're
moment.
asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
Imagine getting a gamer moment in a freaking VN. Anyway, if you're yeah, you already
When
said
I
it.
found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
I mean, a bit over dramatic for such simple facts, but sure, game. Chich. Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much? I think I'm seeing a pattern here. The decor is giving it away. I hate it. It's such a spoiler.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
A non-killer robot.
I'm not sure that really matters.
Thank you, Sakura.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
Alright, I'm gonna predict. Because he couldn't even move. He couldn't even get out of his suit. And how do you wear a suit with a clasp when you can't even reach to your back? So I think that's the thing he's gonna say.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Oh, okay, so he's just going on a different track. It'll be... If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Argument? Make your argument. Okay, so the costume, right? I have to remember that I can steal statements too.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Alright,
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
sure.
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now,
guess.
keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle,
Uh-huh.
all you'd have to do is bend
Oh,
over.
here we go. Yes, I was right.
No, that's wrong. You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
That's a big N-O.
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
Yeah, you said this yourself. I don't know why you're so surprised. I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. It seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
You could just kick it around, but then I guess with a body on it, it wouldn't work that way.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
I'm actually on the right track, what?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
You don't need to see your feet to kick something, though.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
See, this is more likely. Yeah, you can't do all that.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Then what's the point if someone catches you in the act? And this, you can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make the stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp at the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Nuh-uh-uh.
Of course I wasn't making it up.
But you do make up 70% of your predictions, I'm sure.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't even know what's going on, Yasuhiro. Sit down.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
But I just thought of something. If everyone has an alibi, and it can't be Hiro, then who was it?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice?
That looks more of a hug and less of a drag.
If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Why are you pushing this so hard, Celeste?
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Someone's trying to hide something.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Yeah, we've been 20 minutes in. This trial usually lasts at least 2 hours.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Where do we go now? Where do we go?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
Same.
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Everything from the start, this is gonna take forever.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
I don't think she's gonna say anything on that end.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened.
Kyoko's like, crap, I opened myself up to that one.
I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
More like Makoto went to Hina and then Hina went to get you, but yeah, same thing.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant.
Why do you call it a mystery assailant when you're supposed to be on the Robo Justice side, unless you're telling me you were attacked by not Robo Justice?
I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
How? Do you have a clock? I think there's a clock in the rec room, never mind.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
But how will the assailant attack Celeste if he's dragging Hifumi away?
As it turns out, it was Robo Justice.
There are so many flaws in this narrative I am just seeing now.
It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
Exclamation mark, question mark. What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor.
But did anyone else actually see it? Maybe Celeste was just trying to misdirect us? I don't know. I don't.
And soon after that,
I don't know what's going on.
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Yeah, see, you moved us from 1st to 2nd to 3rd, and then that's when Hifumi kinda screamed again. Celeste literally set up the circumstances for Hifumi to die or disappear. Celeste, what's wrong? That was rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. If he was up here, then he couldn't have done anything to Hifumi down there. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Oh yeah. Huh? What was that? Came from downstairs, must have been Hifumi. Alright.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement.
His glasses are still full of blood here. And we saw his handkerchief in the trash can, so... this isn't the whole story.
I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Why is everyone around Makoto just dead now? I just noticed. Hifumi's body has disappeared. You know, I still don't get how this happened. You guys were right there. And even if you were in the bathroom, you should have been able to hear them. The stairs are on the way to the bathroom. And if you and Hina were in the bathroom, and Hifumi's body ended up at the 3rd floor, you should have heard it like passing by or something.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
And that day was the best day of cardio for Sakura Ogami. This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository.
This is weird because the repository was locked and then Celeste magically was able to open it.
Which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
And if it can only get locked from the inside, that only means that Celeste was already inside. Oh, okay. I think I solved the case too early. Whoopsies. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Danganronpa, from what I've experienced so far, even if you think you got it, you probably don't got it, so I might be wrong.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Like there might be a vent in the repository or something, you know, something weird like that just pops out of nowhere, just like Chihiro.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Isn't this the long version of Among Us? I just realized we're technically playing Among Us. Oh no, I shouldn't have thought about it.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. Okay, let's go. Make your argument. Monokuma File 3. What did File 3 even say? It's just the details of the bodies.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
Probably.
Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Exactly.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I wonder if is that really it? The Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice...
Alright, there we go.
That's wrong.
It took me a while because I kept missing and I kept screwing up. Anyway, there we
Hold
go.
on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their
that's
actions.
true. You could just put a number so that people can
So
follow
you're
a logical
saying the
conclusion.
culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Most likely, because... Yeah, most likely.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. His watch, I guess? There we go. Hangman's Gambit. Writ. Okay, so it's a wristwatch. Oops. Oh, I have to do it in order. Whoops. How do I spell wrist? I. Wrist. A? Come on, A. I thought you could just shoot any letter that's correct. I was wrong. Now I only have 2 hearts.
Now I understand.
Now I understand.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
It was working, right? Hey, you! How long were you gonna keep us waiting? Yeah, he states exactly the time in this scene.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
Yeah, because Hifumi was still alive when you guys were talking with him.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
Oh, here we go. We're back to everyone being suspected of murder. But honestly, why don't you just use one justice hammer so that it's an insta-kill every time? And just hide that particular hammer? Why go through the trouble of here's hammer 1, here's hammer 2? I don't get it.
Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
Like, it's not even an... I know they're trying to make the point that, okay, 1 comes out before 2, 2 comes after 1, you know that, but I don't think it logically follows in this scenario. I
That
don't
may
know.
be true in the
Might just
case
be
of
me.
Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to keep replaying it, game. It's not like
When
I
we
forgot.
heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
And where would you find this tape? This isn't even related
If
anymore.
that's true, where's the tape?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Thanks, Yasuhiro.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
So what? It was no one? This is... where is this going?
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Yeah, so... who is it?
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
If everyone had an alibi and nobody could move, assuming Yasuhiro was actually asleep in the costume to be framed, then that means nobody moved. Taka was dead, Hifumi was in the clinic, now disappeared, and then everyone else was in a group. So how can there be a murder with no one moving?
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
She would have used her scissors, honestly.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
Oh, it was voiced.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
They painted hammers and started bonking people. It doesn't make sense, I know.
In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
With technology? I don't know either.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
Unless... okay, I just thought of something, but
And
I'll let the
according
story
to what
get
Celeste said,
We could not have been gone for more than a minute. Yeah, exactly. No time to actually set things up to bring a dolly or whatever. It seems so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Normally, I'd say maybe Sakura could have done it, but she was with us the whole time, almost literally the whole time.
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Then you better name yourself the ultimate marketing manager, because that's what everyone wants to do right now.
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Okay, yeah, this was what I was thinking. Cause remember how Hifumi woke up and then died?
The dead body moved on its own?
Okay, there's some big brain stuff going on here.
Not another...
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
He was alive?
So he wiped off his own glasses and walked out.
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But why would he walk out? Why wouldn't he just stay for help?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
Huh.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive, is it really possible? Broken wristwatch? No, I don't think that's it.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Probably.
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
Can't be sure
And
of
you
that.
know that how?
He woke up.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Oops. Okay. That was wrong.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No,
It is
Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been...
No, that's wrong.
Alright. So the reason why I have 4 hearts is because I screwed up.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Yeah, I had to reset because I didn't think that you could get the last statement in the whole argument and then reapply it to the next round of statements. So I ended up dying a lot until I figured out, hey, wait, maybe this last statement is for something before it. So yeah, I guess I failed my first class trial technically. I just pressed continue.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
Yeah, alright. I see where this is going now. I agree.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
No, he made a second announcement a few minutes later.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
Oof.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means...
Everyone saw the bodies at the same time, roughly. There was one broadcast, and then when they found both bodies in the repository, it played again. So the first time one of the bodies was seen, they weren't dead yet. Basically, that's what it's saying.
Even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Yep.
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. And the second time was when both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. A body has been discovered. Alright.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually
Alive.
being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And then Hina's tears revived him for like a few seconds.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
Thank you for your input.
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Make your argument. Hifumi's glasses?
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
I'm sorry I don't talk during those kinds of scenes because I'm actually braining. I need brain.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
His glasses were clean.
His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
The evidence I found is probably down here. No, it was actually up there.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Yep.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
Hina. You have to say it with conviction. The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess. Got it?
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
Oh, you'd be surprised. But in this context, yeah, I agree.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Ouch. And all the weebs died that day.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Yeah, or that.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is...
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
I like and hate how Yasuhiro has literally zero use in these kinds of things. He's just a catalyst. Then he gets pushed around after he says some thing.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet.
But what's the point? Where is he going? He was already attacked, and why is he leaving? What's he supposed to do? Even in this context, there's no reason why he has to get up and leave.
And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
I like how she put that. The impossible task of moving his copious corpse. Speaking of which, how would Monokuma move that? I wonder.
Then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere!
That's actually a smart move. Not gonna lie. I knew those blood packs would come in some way, but they never became a bullet. So, yeah, I guess this is how it comes in.
But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
God damn, your voice actor is so good.
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Really? Really? You're giving me Sakura as a choice. But why would Hifumi move the corpse? He's not the killer, clearly, because he's dead. We wouldn't have a trial for a dead guy.
I got it!
Where is this going?
It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
But how did Hifumi get past all of you without you passing him on the stairs? There's something. Oh, I guess he could have hid around the corner or something. You all were rushing.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
How many times do you have to say the door was locked?
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Assailant or accomplice? I don't think he... Actually, no, I don't know. Assailant is possible, I suppose.
But that means he took part in the murders.
Yep.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Are you sure you're not gonna make me show the evidence?
There's more?
But wait, there's more.
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed.
Then please reveal it.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
I knew it. I already know. It's a piece of paper. Ba-boom.
I got it!
Ba-ba-boom.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Yep.
Hidden note?
Oh yeah, we never shared this to anyone.
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
You could have worded that better.
What? In his
Oh boy.
pants?
Oh boy.
Yes, his pants.
Sakura, don't say it that way.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Makoto's face is like, I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
Ah! That's the note I was telling you about! The one that told me where to go! Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said,
Yeah, your note had a different time.
Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
They needed you in the suit. So you needed to come first, get drugged, and then stuffed into the suit. That's why you had to go first.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
Basically, they needed to set up their alibis before they executed things.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants. I want to answer it, but nah.
I got it! That's right! Taka!
Why are you saying that's right to me? No one else can hear your thoughts. That's so weird.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
Oh, an objection from Genocide Jill, huh? I wonder what she has to say.
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
TikTok. And the Huffy.
Just to be
Yeah. I get it.
Why must you ruin it every time?
I don't know. That's what you get when you have an airhead character. They ruin it every time. Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, I can't let her get to me. It's just the small piece of paper in the other hand, right? What? I don't think...
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Yes, okay. I
No,
got it first
that's
try. I think I'm feeling my brain grow. Unfortunately.
No, there absolutely
fortunately.
is a connection.
I don't know.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch.
Okay, yeah, I see where this is going now.
But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the rec room. And the equipment room was where Taka died.
Which is where Taka was
Yeah.
killed. I see.
So they set up Hifumi, so Hiro in the rec room to get him, all roboted up. Then they sent Taka to the equipment room to kill him over there.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that.
No further objections!
At least she's reasonable to some degree.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. Ugh. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Oops, I forgot to let that play. Sorry.
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Uh-huh. Half the note was in the other hand.
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Did you hear that? Byakuya wasn't as arrogant as before. He sounded really, curious.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, The sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
That would be the first one I'd tried, you know, after finding both pieces of paper. I would have tried that like hours ago.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Hifumi tried to hide the note, but Taka was holding it onto it so hard because of rigor mortis that he couldn't get to the rest of the note.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
Yep.
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure.
You have no idea what's going on, do you?
In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no.
You don't have to say sorry, Makoto. He really is just an idiot.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
Yeah, there was
The second body discovery announcement
Yep.
proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
And that's exactly who Monokuma said we should find.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
And that's a really small window of time.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
No. The groups have alibis. The three, right?
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
You?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
Why? Why would that bother? Why would you bring that up now?
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all.
Okay, but that would be a consequence of getting hit by similar hammers.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
Oh. You can't kill Hifumi with a Justice Hammer because they weren't in the repository.
So if Hifumi was killed in the repository,
did Yasuhiro actually contribute to the conversation?
The culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
It's a Christmas miracle. Oh, but I think this is what the hammer we found that was wet. The one Makoto said was washed.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
That's why they washed it.
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Same.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
I don't think that's something to be proud of either.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
For the repository, the hammers were already in there. For the other hammers, you could just paint... I mean, they were all from the repository. There were hammers missing from the wall.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Or Celeste actually just tripped.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, What was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. Somehow, I have to find the truth. Via an argument. Can't we just say, yeah, that? Can't we just say it?
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Okay, let's not try that again.
Shoot!
I just wanted
What was
to...
used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
What?
Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear.
Murdergear.com/hammertime
The
sounds
murder
like a
weapon
sixth
had
side.
to be one of the
There we go, okay.
No, that's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
I am seriously considering checking out murdergear.com/hammertime. But it's probably taken by some virus or whatever. Okay, so completely different, yeah.
Seriously? A different weapon?
No, it's a similar weapon, but it's not a justice hammer.
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Nah, man, they use it straight up. Look how many were missing. They just repainted them.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Probably to get rid of his accomplice. So that the accomplice would never blab.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
That's what I was saying. You could have an accomplice and then after the deed is done, you both turn on each other to see who kills each other. Because since there's no advantage to being an accomplice, you want to kill the person you're working with.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Yeah. Since Hifumi is an accomplice, oh, it's not looking good for you, Celeste. Yeah, they did talk about there being no reason to work together. But there's always a reason. And I think we're about to find that out now.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Can we really say there's no chance? That's why I got the impossible.
Based on the rules that have
but I'm
been
not
laid
sure
out for
which
us,
one to shoot exactly
even
with
if
this.
more than one person
However, there were two murders.
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply
No, that's wrong.
Alright, I got it. I kinda screwed up again, actually.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Because I keep forgetting that you can just take an argument and then bring it back around to the starting argument.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
But what would be the potential mutual reward?
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Oh, I never thought about it that way.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Hifumi is both a victim and a accomplice.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
I don't know, I can think of one person.
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same, that was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents, or she was bluffing again. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. You could almost say she's an ultimate. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's only really one person who seems to fit. Okay, I have to give props to the game for this. This is not an easy logical leap.
Here's my answer.
I have actually been getting it wrong quite a few times in the arguments. Part of it because I wasn't really trying to use the mechanics to its fullest. Part of it is because the game is trying to apply its logic to you, and you know, you don't necessarily think the same way the game's writers were thinking at the time. But still, even with your own logic, it wouldn't be easy to get to the conclusion that it was Celeste. So props there. Okay guys, I guess I'll have to leave it there for now. This episode is already over 1 hour long. And spoiler alert, there's an hour left in this class trial, so I really have to cut it here. So for now, we find out that Celeste is actually our primary suspect, supposedly, for this trial. And if you want to see how she defends herself, maybe consider leaving a like and subscribing so that you can catch the next one. So this has been Caffeinified Gaming. I'll catch you in the next one.